overcast Tuesday evening in the Bronx, it is time for baseball. As My Nine presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the New York Yankees against the Texas Rangers in the second game of a four-game set from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Yankees baseball, along with David Cohn and Paul O'Neill. I'm Michael Kay. Yankees won 8-2 last night. They got very good pitching from Phelps and from Lowe. We'll meet those guys a little bit later on, but they also got offense. 5 RBIs from one man, and that man was Nick Swisher.
Nick Swisher coming. The Yankees went into the third inning yesterday, down a couple runs. Ryan Dempster pitches his way into trouble in a hanging off-speed pitch. His 15th of the year, his 200th of his career. Happened to be a grand slam later in the game. Another single, another run drive drove in. Nick Swisher, huge night, 5 RBIs.
The Yankees have been doing a great job this month with runners in scoring position. They had a decent April, a terrible May, but they've improved every single month since. 383 with runners in scoring position this month. Let's take a look now at tonight's pitching matchup brought to you by Mazda. We believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. Left-hander Matt Harrison will get the start for the Rangers, 13-6, 3.31. And for the Yankees, it'll be Hiroki Kuroda, 10-8, 3.24. And David, I know you've been very impressed with Kuroda so far.
Yeah, well, you know, Joe Girardi said that for a pitcher, if you've got some weapons and you can mix it up, then you can have success, even in the American League East. And these kind of weapons, the slider, the swing back fastball on the inside corner, Kuroda's got it all. You need to run it back on a lefty, he can do it. You need to go backdoor with the slider, he can do that. How about the splitter? He's got that one too. He's locating all those pitches, he's mixing them up much better nowadays. One of the Yankees' best pitchers going right now, Kuroda.
Well, Kuroda hopes that he does as well as the combination of Phelps and Lowe. What they did yesterday sets the bullpen up for today. When we get back, David Cohn will explain next on My Nine. These two pitchers did last night. David Phelps, 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs. He gets the win. Derek Lowe, in his first game as a Yankee, first day he put on pinstripes, 4 innings of shutout baseball, and he got the save, his first since 2001. That's David Cohn. I'm Michael Kay. Paul O'Neill will rejoin us in just a moment. One of the fascinating things about baseball is that every game is interconnected to the next. And the fact that Derek Lowe gave them 4 innings actually helps them win this game tonight.
Yeah, the residual effect, without a doubt. I mean, could you expect any more for your first Yankee appearance? He looked kind of funny out there in the pinstripes, but he fit right in once he started throwing the ball and still got that nasty sinker. It was almost like a spring training game. I'll go 5, you go 4, and you just saved the entire bullpen going that way.
And when you consider that on Sunday, the Yankees used a lot of relievers in Toronto. To use only one, now everybody's available tonight.
Yeah, everybody's available. That's the residual effect, not only in tonight's game, but it does. It one day leads to the next, and if you burn out your bullpen, that can affect your whole bullpen for a week. So Derek Lowe with a big lift for the entire bullpen last night.
And the fact that the Yankees don't have any days off till next Thursday, that means a lot as well. This is a big series. Good game. Yesterday the Yankees won. Stars tonight. Lineups, first pitch, baseball coming up next on My Nine. brought to you in part by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. Chase, take a step forward with Chase. Quick pay by sending money as easily as sending an email. And by Verizon Fios, introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Hiroki Kuroda getting ready for the Yankees. And let's take a look at the Rangers starting lineup that he's going to face. Brought to you by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Ian Kinsler, the second baseman, leads off. Batting second and playing shortstop, Elvis Andrus. Josh Hamilton in center field will hit third. Cleaning up third baseman, Adrian Beltre. Nelson Cruz in right field will bat fifth. Batting sixth, playing first base tonight, Michael Young. David Murphy in left field will hit seventh. Luis Martinez will catch, batting eighth and batting ninth, and DHing Mitch Moreland.
And Hiroki Kuroda has been so solid for the Yankees. This will be his 24th start. That great ERA, 3.24 innings eater, 150, only 36 walks. Let's take a look at the pitcher scouting report brought to you by Acura. Acura Advance and shooting blanks. He's got 5 starts of 7 innings and 0 earned runs. That's the most in the major leagues, tied with 5 other pitchers. 1 and done. He's got a streak going of 1 base on balls or less in 8 straight starts. That's the longest of his career. And tough at home, he's got a 2.55 ERA at home in 13 starts with a 7-4 record.
Well, Kuroda is ready, and Kinsler is ready, and let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch is grounded to McGee, who was in on the grass. He fields, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Simple enough, Tony. Throw a pitch, get an out. Huh? Texas Rangers, I mean, they're a good offensive team, but a lot of these guys come swinging right out of the dugout. Kinsler, leadoff hitter, see a pitch? Nah. Just swing at the first one, try to rip it down the line. Good play by McGee.
Here's Elvis Andrus. .20 for his last 50, so he has been hot over that time, hitting .400. And there's a strike.
Andrus had a good night last night, kind of set the table all night for Josh Hamilton, but Phelps and Lowe got big outs. Thing about, you know, your star hitters is going to, you have to get those guys out before them, so you have a little leeway in case you need to pitch around them.
David Phelps with 5 innings yesterday picked up the victory. So many people were impressed with David Phelps and the way he threw, and they really believe that he's a keeper, that his stuff translates into the starting rotation. He has 4 pitches that he can throw for strikes. He has a way about him on the mound. He carries himself confidently, and I don't know if it's going to be this year, but next year you could see him being projected into that starting 5.
Yeah, he was able to pitch backwards just enough too in certain spots. On 2-0 pitches, he was able to cut it a little bit just to keep Texas, off the barrel of the bat enough and keep hitters honest.
One, 2. 2-2. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. In the outfield, Jones, Granderson, and Swisher left to right. Infield, McGee, Nix, Cano, and Teixeira, third and first. Martin is behind the plate. And Hiroki Kuroda is on the mound. 2-2. Breaking ball misses upstairs, and the count is full at 3-2.
Tell the guys that are comfortable with the plate. Anders has had such a great month, hitting close to 400, and I mean they take pitches, they swing at strikes. You go from a pitcher's count to all of a sudden ball 4 just because you're comfortable and you're not swinging at those off-speed pitches in the dirt.
Take a look at tonight's league leaders, and they are brought to you by the New York. These are the major league home run leaders. Adam Dunn, miserable season last year. He's leading the big leagues with 33 homers. Then Josh Hamilton has 32. Curtis Granderson next at 30. They're both in this game. And Edwin Encarnacion also with 30. He plays for the Blue Jays. And here is Josh Hamilton. Grounded to first. There's one. And they have him in a rundown. And he's out. As Kuroda made the tag. The first base umpire, Vic Carapazza, right there. Andrews thought he got back. So the Yankees turn a double play. 3, 6, 1, and the Yankees coming to bat. The Yankees starting lineup brought to you by McDonald's. Sizzly, cheesy, doubly delicious. Try McDonald's McDouble on the dollar menu. Don't forget the McChicken. I'm loving it. The captain, the DH, Derek Jeter, leading off. Batting second and playing right field, Nick Swisher. Mark Teixeira's at first base. He'll hit third. Cleaning up second baseman, Robinson Cano. Andrew Jones in left field, about fifth. Batting sixth, playing center field, Curtis Granderson. The third baseman, Casey McGee, is the seventh hitter. Russell Martin will catch. He'll bat eighth, and batting ninth. Now playing shortstop, Jason Nix.
There is the big lefty, Matt Harrison, looking to tie his career high, going for his 14th win, his 23rd start. Really good numbers across the board, although he's a sinker baller. He's not really a strikeout guy, as you can see by those numbers, 42 to 87. Take a look at the Texas Rangers pitcher scouting report, brought to you by Lexus. The Golden Opportunity Sales Event is here. He's among the leaders. 4th in wins, 9th in ERA, 3rd in complete games. His winning percentage is up there at .684. That's good for 6th in the league. He rolls them up. He's got 70 double plays and 557 and 2/3 innings. That's the best in Rangers history, that ratio of 1.13 per 9 innings. And he was an all-star this year, although he did give up a bomb to former Yankee Melky Cabrera in that game.
Here's Derek Jeter. He is the DH tonight, as we just told you, and the first pitch is up and away.
It's a weird play because Andrus got so far down the line, and then he actually tried to stick his hip out, and then neither didn't slide. So you had all kind of things working there.
Well, that's a good call. He was out. I thought he was safe.
But you get caught there, but your spike can hit the base, and Kuroda was kind of in the way. All kind of things were going on there. Might lose a body part before that play's over.
Jeter rockets one off the glove of Andrews into left field. We'll see how they score it. They give him a base hit.
Derek Jeter hits this one on the nose and kind of eats Andrews up, and he's a good shortstop. He's kind of an in-between hop early in the game, kind of skips on him. Balls are just hit hard, Coney, and you just can't react that quick.
Let me give you a stat, Paul, see if you can explain it. As a DH this year, Jeter is 27 for 56, so close to 500. How could a guy who's an everyday player be that comfortable as a DH?
Yeah, it's amazing, and I think a lot has to do with him being a leadoff hitter. Probably hits a lot right before the game, and you get in the flow of the game because you're immediately the leadoff hitter. It's not like you're sitting there on the bench watching a couple innings hitting 6 or 7.
For Derek, his 155th hit, and that leads the American League.
Mike, I just threw that out there. That explanation mean anything?
You know what? The fact that he leads off, it's not like he's a pinch hitter.
So you're with me.
I can buy some of it, but I don't know about the other 3 at-bats. And that base hit for Derek extends his hitting streak to 10 straight. There's a strike to Nick Swisher.
It's an interesting point, Michael. And the Yankees, as their designated hitter spot this year has really been productive, even though it's kind of a way station where they rotate, Jeter and Alex when he was here. And they've hit .310 with 20 homers and 71 RBIs out of the DH this year.
Swisher, you talked to for about a week. He's been in the 2-hole, moved up and grand slam last night. Some good at bats on the road. You know, it's just a position in the lineup where you see a lot of fastballs, and if you're behind in the count, pitcher can't get to you know, big innings, so you get good pitches to hit.
Popped up. Beltre for the first out. Now, I thought that too, Paul, and I spoke to Nick today, and I said, wow, that's the perfect piece of real estate in the lineup. He goes, I don't agree. He said, I don't see any different pitches number 2 than I would at number 6. He said, the only thing is they don't want to walk me. He said, but I don't see fastballs like you would think.
Well, I just think that pitchers, especially in that situation, you've got a leadoff hit. I mean, you've got to get an out there. And Coney, you know, you're not going to pitch behind. You got to go after that guy. I remember numerous times where, you know, I was struggling. Joe Torre would throw me in the 2-hole for a few days, and then if you got a couple hits, would put you back. One time in Boston that he put me in the 2-hole. I had a big night, and the next night I came out, I was hitting third, and he said, you know, you've screwed up the 2-hole so much, I'm gonna bring somebody else up in there. So it's just kind of every once in a while just a different look.
Nub to first base. They'll get the force at second. Return throw is thrown past Harrison, but Teixeira will stay right there.
Coney, every once in a while you see a play, even in the major leagues, you know, you get that first out, and all of a sudden you just see a guy just launch one. And where did that come from?
Let's see if Jeter tries to get a piece of him. Look like, you know, that is strange. He's going right and wings it back across his body left.
If you're luckily for the Texas Rangers, this ball stays in the field of play, and you know, you don't give Teixeira second base.
What's the Bob Uecker line? Just a little bit outside.
Got to be the hardest play for a pitcher, though. You know, that double play, receiving that ball going down the line.
Don't like it. I didn't like the rundown in the first with Kuroda, got knocked over on his back. Get the pitchers out of the rundowns.
Put them back out on the hill.
The less the pitchers get involved in any play at all, the better off you're going to be. I had Gary Carter in that same play, Kuroda right there. Gary Carter, the catcher for the Mets, pushed me out of the way at first base one day. Get out of here. I got it. Jim Cott would disagree with that.
Kitty,
the Gold Glover.
Well, they won about 100 of them.
Who's here in the house tonight?
Jim Cott, you just listen to him, and I remember I was fortunate enough, Kitty there on the left, just fortunate enough to start broadcasting games with Kitty, and to me, his voice just sounded like a Saturday afternoon game. You know, the game of the week where you're just kind of hanging out as a young kid, seeing the game of the week because you didn't get baseball every night on TV.
Have to give some love to Matt Vasgersian. That was the other gentleman in the booth. They're doing the game on the MLB Network.
To me, you know, Jim Cott's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
you know, I mean,
no doubt about it.
286 wins, and you combine that with his broadcasting career. I mean, I know we're biased because we love him, but he's a Hall of Famer in my mind.
Mike, what do you have, 17 gold gloves, 14 or something? He had some crazy amount of gold gloves as a pitcher, too.
For some reason, 16 sticks
16,
in my mind.
yeah, sounds right.
Runner will go, the 3-2. Popped up, shallow left. And Beltre makes the play, and that will do it. No runs a hit, and one man left. We played one in the stadium. There's no score. Beltre will lead off. By the 2012 Buick Verano. Experience Buick luxury as it should be. And the Yankees have a hit. That's Derek Jeter's. And the Rangers, zeros across. So Kuroda has seemingly recovered from that tumble at first base, and he will face Adrian Beltre here to start off the second. There's a strike.
He's a guy to me that really doesn't get what he deserves as far as, I mean, he's a consistent player, good third baseman offensively. He's going through a tough time now, but he's still hitting over 300.
Tonight's closed captioning brought to you by Lexus. The Golden Opportunity Sales Event is here.
Texas is going to have to make some decisions because there's some of their top prospects, shortstop, third baseman, and they've got guys that, you know, are signed to long-term deals. In Beltre's case, and Andrews, who looks like he's going to be a shortstop for a long time. So, you know, you just wonder, they're prized possessions to have these prospects, but are they ever going to play in a Texas Ranger uniform?
And they held off on making some deals that could have really helped them this year by not trading those prospects. They refused to move them. But their biggest decision this offseason is what to do with Josh Hamilton. They want to sign him, but he probably wants a 6-7 year contract, and they're more thinking in the 4-year range. It'll be interesting to see who blinks. Right back to Kuroda. One out. New York Yankees baseball is broadcast in Spanish. It's available when you hit the SAP button on your television or your remote. SAP is brought to you by Toyota. Hurry in for big savings during Toyota's nationwide clearance event going on now.
Hey, Cody, you look at Kuroda, and he just, I mean, you see guys take off-balance swings out in front, leaning away, and that's just shows, you know, how much he's moving the ball around. Different kind of movement.
He'll pump one in there. You know, he's quicker than you think. That last pitch, 95. You know, 93, 94. Slider, splitter. That's the key for Kuroda. When he started commanding that slider right there. First pitch, 85. That one, 95. Now that pitch, 85. Right on the black. Just, you can't guess with him anymore.
Look at the breakdown there. He did struggle when he first got here, but he has picked it up.
One thing I've seen too, Paul, is you get him some runs. You know, he knows how to pitch with runs. He's real good at shutdown innings after you give him some runs.
It's so important to offensively. You throw up some runs, and you know, if the pitcher can give you a couple innings to tack on a few more before all of a sudden, you know, you've got a blowout. But you know, you allow those teams to immediately get back in the game, then you know it's going to be back and forth all night. This is one guy right here, the Texas Rangers. He's been hot. He's on an 8-game hitting streak. He's hit close to 500, and it doesn't have the numbers that you would expect for the end of the year. So he's going through his hot streak. Josh Hamilton's been through his. He's getting hot again. So, you know, the Texas Rangers offensively can do a lot of things.
Cruz strikes out for the second out.
See the old high slider. Cruz reads, oh, that's up and out over plate fast. No, just cuts off the plate. You know, even though it was up, he got it off the plate, and it had a little quick late break to it. Little upshoot.
Yeah, it's weird because you always think that, you know, all pitchers get hit with balls up in the zone. Well, up in the zone over the plate. That ball is off the plate, and as a hitter, you see it. You see that ball up in the zone so well, you think you can hit it, and if it does have movement, it'll give you trouble.
Foul back, count 0-2.
Kuroda has never really had good run support. Recently with the Yankees, he's starting to get more runs. With the Dodgers his whole career, they never really supported him offensively. He always had good ERAs, but even a losing record or around 500. And I've seen him this year when the Yankees finally start scoring some runs for him. Well, he knows how to pitch with a lead.
Swing and a miss. Got him. Strong inning for Kuroda. He retires the Rangers in order. We go to the bottom of the second. Andrew Jones will lead it off. Toyota. Here is the question. Which former Yankee would you like to see have their number retired next? Is it A, Joe Torre's number 6, B, Jorge Posada's number 20, C, Paul O'Neill's number 21, D, Bernie Williams' number 51? Text A, B, C, or D to 70377 or go to my9tv.com. Find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota.
I feel a lot of pressure tonight, Mike.
A lot of pressure.
Huh?
But now the real pressure is, who is Russ going to pick? I mean, what if Russ has you last of the four?
I'm done.
Buick scoreboard, no score. Now there's pressure on Russ because he knows you're going to be watching. Strike.
You know who deserves a little recognition? Maybe not, along those lines of that question, but Gene Monahan, longtime Yankee trainer.
Ripped to left field. Right there as Murphy went out.
You just go all white out there with Gito's little good humor man suit.
You remember the plaque at the old Yankee Stadium with Pete Sheehy,
The
great old Yankee trainer before Gene Monahan. So there should be a plaque somewhere for Gene Monahan, some sort of recognition, because what a great trainer he was for a long time.
Got a beautiful day here at the stadium, where they gave him a truck and a trip around the world, which was really nice. Really beloved by the players.
Trip around the world. Where's that start? Starts here, and you just.
I think you pick where you want to go.
Oh, is that it?
Right.
Like Dr. Doolittle or something. You just keep going.
Be nice. Around the world in 80 days. If you could go anywhere, where would you go? If you could go anywhere.
If I could go somewhere, if I didn't have to, I've seen pictures of New Zealand.
Right.
But I can't sit on a plane for that long, so I don't know how I'm going to get there.
Go on a boat.
Yeah, time travel. Is that any time in our near future?
Could be.
Yeah.
That one is driven deep to center field. Hamilton back. He's there. He'll make the play. Didn't Jose Canseco tweet that out the other day, that there could be? He believes that there's time travel.
Well, I'm all for it down there. And Jose says it, right?
For him, there might be. That's for sure.
He probably already had it. We just didn't know.
He'd probably like to do a little time travel before he wrote that book. Go back in time.
That man came from Mars right there.
Pitch is high. McGee fouls it away.
This guy's a strong guy, Paulie. He's got some bat speed. You know, he had some big years in Milwaukee. He had a home run up in Toronto on the second deck, left center. I mean, he's a big boy. He's got some pop.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't seen a lot of him hit, but I watched him in batting practice. They had a lot of his power right center field, and they're trying to get his lower body to, you know, to start pulling the ball a little bit more. But should be a perfect park for him to hit it, because that right center field, you know, where that Pepsi sign and the Gatorade sign out there, just a great place for right-handers to aim.
He had that one home run in Toronto and had one robbed.
Yeah, that was some play, that Rajai Davis play in Toronto. My goodness.
Goes the right way and gets himself a base hit.
Talked last night that how pitches up in the zone, they get hit hard. And Harrison, Coney, you just got to report, you know, kids a lot of ground balls, but when they get the ball up, you see this ball up and away. McGee doesn't try to pull it, just hammers it to right. Boy, hitting looks easy in slow motion, doesn't it?
Here's Russell Martin. Count 1-0.
Russell Martin, you know, last time we did games, Michael, he's at 189. Now he's jumped up to 197. It's almost, you can see the daylight of the getting off that interstate. A couple good games. Walk up to the plate and see that first number at 200. Boy, what an accomplishment it would be. You hit 200 as a pitcher, Coney?
I did. I led the league one year, the pitchers league. I hit 239 one year. I won the batting title.
Go deep?
No, a bunch of singles.
Little gap hitter.
Punch and Judy the other way.
This is what you have to look at every night as a hitter. It's kind of like your self-worth. You wish they would move it over here so you didn't have to see it all the time.
You know, they do award a Silver Slugger in the National League for the best hitting pitcher. But Don Robinson got it that year. Yeah. He hit like 5 or 6 homers.
He actually used to pinch hit sometimes as a pitcher.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. There's the famous shoulder grab.
Absolutely.
Must be reassuring. Like what your dad would do if you were having a problem.
Cody made up a good point last night. He did that to Dempster after he'd just given up a grand slam. The last thing you want to do is have your shoulder rub where you just give up a grand.
Well, Maddox so well respected, deservedly so. Just, you know, really, really good. One of the best pitching coaches around. But you have to know your personality type on the mound and which guys need a little pat on the back and which guys need a kick in the behind.
Still trying to figure that out about Michael. I should pat him on the back or just give him a boot.
I don't like being touched.
I'm voting for the boot.
Nix fouls it off. McGee at second, Martin is at first. 2 men out. We're in the bottom of the second. Second game of the 4-game set. Yankees won last night 8-2. Check the swing. And Vic Carapazza agrees.
Yeah, you know, Harrison on the mound, not a power guy, you know, but a good ground ball guy, good moving sinker. Became just the second Ranger pitcher to win the AL pitch month of the award, the pitcher of the month award. He went 5-0 in June. Kenny Rogers in 05 was the other one.
See Nick's get a good pitch to hit there, and then, you know, pitchers peek over there. They peek on the on-deck circle to see where they are, how they can get out of a jam. And you know, the last thing you want to do if you're Matt Harrison is you look over, you see Derek Jeter, and you've got to get Nick's out here. You don't want to give Jeter an opportunity where he can score some runs with just a base hit.
And the count levels at 2-2 on the 95-mile-an-hour fastball. Jeff Kellogg did not do the hand on the catcher's bat, just a little steadying touch.
Not quite as low as Tim Timmons last night either.
Swing and a miss, got him. As Nix goes down on strikes. No runs a hit and 2 men left. Let's take it to the third and the bottom third of the Rangers order. Country's funniest DJs, including Scott and Todd from New York's WPLJ, as they dish on all the hottest celebrity news. Tune into Dish Nation weeknights at 6 and 11 p.m. starting September 10th, right here on My 9. Well, we are lucky enough to be joined by Scott Shannon. That's Scott, and Todd Pettengill.
Hey,
that's
Michael.
Todd with a really handsome Yankee shirt on, Todd.
A little overdressed in this booth.
No, you
showed
guys
us up here.
This is the most fit booth in baseball.
You think so?
We're CrossFitters up here.
All of you guys. I mean, Jerry Remy would not belong in this booth.
We're looking at a 32-inch waist down here with the baby bomber.
And Michael, unbelievable. How much weight have you lost?
45.
Good for you.
But the
Great,
waist
man.
is not 32.
Isn't that amazing what a married life will do to you?
That's true.
That's right.
Now, I've had the pleasure of working on the same floor as these guys for about 10 years at PLJ and the same floor as ESPN. And I know, Paul, your wife's a big fan of Scott and Todd.
Used to listen. Brings back memories. I mean, I would take the kids to school.
Oh, boy.
PLJ was on the radio. My wife was talking about what they said. She won't listen to me do a game, but she'll listen to you guys on the radio.
on.
So, I mean, what's up with that?
Or an overnight hit, 21 years on the radio, and they finally said, you can go on television now.
Then we hit My 9, and this is an amazing opportunity.
Yeah, it's great.
6 p.m., 11 p.m., Monday through Friday. We're excited.
Now, what do? They put the cameras and just tape the radio show, and they take the best bits?
Exactly, which is going to be difficult. because, you know, there's a lot of not so good bits.
No, there's a lot of great stuff. It's actually produced while we're on the air. They have an incredible control room. We've got about 100 people working, and they're bringing in all these feeds from different places in the country, and they put it together in a 30-minute show every afternoon and evening.
You got to lay out when there's action.
No, not on TV. David Murphy grounds to second. Now, you know what's interesting? When they start to bring cameras into radio studios, it changes things, because the beauty of radio is you could have a big pizza stain on your shirt.
Yeah.
But now you're on TV, you have
Not
to dress
anymore.
differently.
Theater of the mind is gone.
Yeah.
They're showing everything.
Right.
And we have to talk about things that we would sometimes not necessarily talk about. You know, there's a lot of Kardashian news that you know, Scott and I get a little worn out over that stuff.
And don't forget Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Who cares?
That's always good news.
You're all
right?
over that, aren't you, Paul?
Yeah.
Paul, you are a pop culture icon.
I rely on Michael.
Twitter.
He knows all this on
Listen,
Twitter. Now
you're all
that scares
over.
me.
Now,
It
see,
scares
I
me.
signed up today just so I
Did
could
you?
say I was on Twitter. Yes.
Paul would have been great back in the day when he was playing for reality television.
Oh, yeah.
Now, just think about that. You're going out dugout, you throw the cooler, you throw the bats around.
Oh, you'd have been great.
Oh, been awesome. Just fantastic.
There's a strike to Luis Martinez, but the deal was when Paul played, he wanted nothing to do with TV.
No.
Now he's a big star. But
Yeah.
You know, it's funny. We were lucky enough to get the tour before the game, and Paul was over by the press area, and they just put their heads down because he goes, "All these guys destroyed me when I was playing. Now they don't even want to look at me."
They won't speak to him.
Michael's seat's empty over there now. He's gone to the television booth. Mike was the best. I've told him time and time again, you'd be hot. See another ground ball. Kuroda's got it going today. Nothing hit hard.
Well, he looks awesome.
That was good.
And I mean, you'd be in a streak, and he'd like to come remind you. And as soon as he brought it up, it was over.
You know, it really doesn't make
That's
any
true.
difference how many times you've been to Yankee Stadium to sit up here and look out at that field.
and now you're on the
Look at the
scoreboard.
big screen. You guys are stars.
No booze.
We just can't hear him. You have headphones on. It really is, guys, an honor to sit here. I mean, I watch every game, lifelong Yankee fan, and to be able to sit here with you guys is, forget it, beyond incredible. So thank you for your kindness.
Now, will this get on the dish?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Are you crazy?
All right.
Oh,
You crazy?
yeah.
Paul, that's a residual check like the Seinfeld
That's
one.
right. I get $52 from Seinfeld. How about you guys?
In fact, Paul made the show a couple of weeks ago when he was trying to figure out who lived in Westchester County and what street and all that.
You know what? I got in the middle. Every once in a while, you get in the middle of these stories. I'm like, the last thing I want to do is like throw an address out there or something.
Yeah,
you know.
You were damn close. I'm looking out the window. He may be driving by here.
Yeah, we were going to go to Google Earth next.
Yeah, thank Michael K. Todd's the Jersey guy. You're right. You got it right.
2-0 on Moreland. We're in the top of the third inning. Talk with Scott and Todd. They're on the show The Dish on My 9. Weeknights at 6 and 11 p.m. starting September 10th.
I like your view from up here.
This is pretty nice.
No wonder they got you up here. You can see everything.
Can we come back tomorrow? I mean, not to be on, just to sit.
So you're the Yankee fan lifelong.
Oh,
Who's your boy
absolutely.
out there? I mean, who's the guy you don't leave the room when he's hitting?
You know, there's so many guys. I mean, currently, obviously, Jeter is just forget about it. But for me, Granderson is just an electric player and just brought so much to this team. And to see our new right fielder,
He's got a little personality
How
to him,
exciting
doesn't
is that? He stretches in positions I haven't been able to move into in 10 years.
Yeah, I was asking Coney last night. I mean, if you watch him on the on-deck circle throwing at bat, you'd be exhausted before the at-bat's over.
I mean, and you do CrossFit.
Yeah, I'm an injured CrossFitter right now.
He told us now earlier, I can barely eat an apple. They're not hurt.
You can't hold his arm
And
up.
his son's got him working out hard.
Well, we all want to be 19 again.
Amen.
Michael, who was your hero when you were growing up?
Bobby Mercer.
Yeah.
And I got a chance to work with him. And he was as nice a guy as you'd want your hero to be.
Right.
I grew up in the Midwest, and for me it was Stanley F. Musial.
Yeah.
That guy was a role model. Still a great guy.
Got to meet him a few times. Just a class act, too.
And they love him in St. Louis.
Thurman Munson was my guy growing up. He was Mr. Everything.
Now there's a fireball.
Oh.
Moreland walks. So 1 on and 2 outs. Back to the top of the order, and Ian Kinselman is Thurman's number 15. So you grew up in the area, right, Todd?
I did. I grew up in upstate New York, a little
Okay.
town called Hageman, about 30 miles west of Albany. And never forget my first bus trip to Yankee Stadium, the old Yankee Stadium. And it was all Red Sox fans where I grew up. And on the way down, I took a beating. I was a 6-year-old kid. and they pestered me, and I was crying. My father was like, just man up. You got to. Well, the Yankees won that day. Yeah. On the bus ride home, I was that little kid up and down the aisle. I laughed the whole way. Those guys wanted to pummel me.
Now, Scott made you cry on the way here today, right?
Yes, he did. He makes me cry almost every day.
No.
You guys get along? You actually get along in the yeah. See,
I like you and Michael.
Yeah, Michael and I are different things.
Oh, we're completely
Michael doesn't like me. It's just the way it
ridiculous.
That's what creates the chemistry.
You got to have a little friction. You look back at teams; they just don't stay together very long.
No,
it doesn't work. You know, something goes wrong somewhere along the line. Somebody says something, and we kind of coexist. And I have my area, he has his, and we've gotten along pretty well. We see each other off the air maybe, what, 5-6 times a year?
That's about it.
That's it. That's enough.
Tonight counts as 2, by the way.
Yes.
Michael and I vacation now. We go to the Bahamas together.
That's right.
And you know there's somebody home watching TV.
I don't believe that.
Oh, these guys are going to be on.
I don't believe that.
Here's the 2-0.
Ouch.
No, we've got pictures. We were actually on vacation
right?
together. Yeah. It was scary. It was so much fun. It was scary. Didn't seem like it was Paul.
And that was the Bahamas?
Yeah. No, we actually ran into each other by accident.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It would be a little weird if you planned it. You know what I mean?
Okay, no, we didn't do that.
Where were we when we ran into Girardi? Remember he's out by the pool?
Oh, yeah. Boy, is he ripped?
I think we were.
Oh, I'm glad you noticed.
Oh,
I have a bikini on for you.
No, he did. And I'll tell you something about Joe. He wasn't afraid to stand in the middle of the pool and
He's
strike
a
a pose.
CrossFitter, too.
Oh, man.
Right?
He was pumped. We're at that Universal Studios. He had the family there.
That's right.
And he was at the pool, and one of the members of our show, you know who's down by the pool? You got Joe Girardi down there. And he's
No
on.
kidding.
Yeah, all right. Leave him alone, will you?
I did notice your Midwestern accent. So
he
welcome
got
that to the
I do a lot of the voices on the show.
He's only been in New York for 21 years. You think he might lose that?
There's a ground ball at Knicks. Yeah. They go the short way, and that'll do it. Scott and Todd, great to see you guys. The show is called The Dish, 6 and 11 p.m.
Dish Nation.
Dish Nation.
I got it.
You call it whatever you want.
We don't
The
care.
Dish Nation. Let's do that, all right? 6 and 11, and it starts September 10th. Good
Thank
to see
you,
you guys.
partner.
It's on
Great
my
job.
9.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, be
Thank you,
good.
Paul.
Thanks, Paul.
We go to the bottom. Taking some pictures with fans, and as he does, you take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by Audi, Truth in Engineering. The former mayor of New York, America's mayor, Rudolph Giuliani, also at the game. He was at last night's game as well.
Back to back.
Pitches in the dirt to Jeter. Count 1-0. We showed you that Boston-Baltimore score, and wow, the situation in Boston is starting to spin out of control. It was reported today by Yahoo Sports. Jeff Passan wrote the story, and it was an exclusive that 17 Boston Red Sox got together and met in New York the off day before the Yankee-Red Sox series a couple of weeks ago and demanded that Bobby Valentine be fired. And the owner said that's not going to happen. And now you know that you've got 17 guys who want the manager fired. That also means that you have 8 guys that don't agree with the 17 guys because they weren't part of the meeting. So you got a split clubhouse, and the majority of the players don't want the manager there. Not good.
Nothing a little chicken and beer couldn't solve.
Been through that, Coney? You ever been on a team where players just did not like the manager that much?
Yeah, I did have, you know, a situation like that with the Mets towards Davey Johnson's end of his tenure there, and things did get a little ugly.
Ground ball is short. Andrews. One away.
You know, and I was a rookie, so I just sat back in the corner and watched. Didn't really have anything to say. I was really surprised by it all. When veteran guys hold a meeting and they start talking about, you know, this manager doesn't work anymore. It can be very divisive. It's almost impossible to overcome that.
And that also could explain the 8 that weren't in that meeting. Could be younger guys, didn't want to get involved, didn't want, you know, the blood on their hands. But it supposedly all emanated from a text that the first baseman Adrian Gonzalez sent to one of the owners about Valentine leaving John Lester in to get embarrassed and give up 11 runs in a game. Valentine would not comment on it. And that's the situation right now. So it's not good right now in Boston. And the Red Sox are coming into town to start a 3-game set against the Yankees on Friday. When they were here, you know, we heard stories that his coaches weren't talking. So I don't know why they hired a guy and didn't allow him to choose his coaches. So that was kind of putting in a bad situation right away. That's popped up as Kinsler makes the running catch. 2 away.
Tomorrow night, the Bombers continue this battle with MVP candidate Josh Hamilton and the Rangers here at the stadium. Coverage on the Yes Network starts at 6 o'clock with the Tri-State Ford pregame. Then after the postgame, catch the new GMC Presents Center Stage with Michael Kay featuring extreme sports icon Shaun White. Only on Yes.
So 2 away here in the bottom of the 3rd, and Mark Teixeira is at the plate against his former teammates, and there's a strike.
Remember that national commercial Shaun White had when he was traveling around the world following the Weather Channel wherever the next snowstorm was? And that was a great commercial.
You know, it's amazing. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, would you ever even think about snowboarding and stuff that, you know, and he's a superstar now.
Yes, he is. The younger generation loves him. He is an icon. Fouled away.
Teixeira has not had much success off Harrison. He's 1 for 11. Harrison was one of the guys that they received back from the trade from Teixeira. So it's weird how baseball, you know, it kind of comes around. You end up facing guys that you're traded for and stuff like that.
Who was your guy? Roberto Kelly?
Roberto Kelly, yeah. Bobby. He became Bobby when he went to Cincinnati.
And a lot of people don't know, when Paul was traded here, he became Paolo, but didn't catch on.
Yeah, Pablo didn't work.
Yankees with 2 hits. The Rangers have yet to pick up a hit in 3 innings. Another nice crowd on hand here at the stadium.
It's been a different feel in this series. The people were here earlier. It seems to be more press. It just goes to show you when two good teams. You see Teixeira line one to left field.
And
easy double.
Chugging into second with a double.
See the change-up grip. Teixeira just stays on it enough. You could see he got his bat head out there and said, whoa, watch him reach one-handed.
You know, if you look at that swing, it's like, you know, Teixeira, we talked about it. He really likes to spin open and kind of buggy whip everything. And he was spinning. He kind of just held his lower body in place where his arms should, you know, kind of slow them up to get to that changeup.
That double extends his hitting streak to 8 straight. Here's Cano. Harrison deals. 0-1.
Kind of lefties that used to always give me problems. Tall, kind of lanky. Just a big angle that they can bring to you from the left side. You talk about, you know, you get a scouting report on the guy, you know, change up, sinker, slider, but you know, he can pop mid-90s when he wants to, and that's the thing as a hitter. You have to be honest, and you have to be able to cover that 95-mile-an-hour fastball. So you can't look off speed. You can't dive out there and try to hit that sinker.
Broken bat, fly ball down the right field line. It's a foul ball, just foul. There's a bit Carapazzo right there, and Cruz couldn't get there. And the bat is done.
This is because of the velocity. This ball's inside. Robbie's quick, but when you have that extra 2 or 3 miles an hour, ball gets in on the label. Clearly foul.
Do you have any bats left over from your career?
There's a couple, yeah. Actually, a couple World Series bats and stuff. Every once in a while you grab it, and every time you pick them up now, they feel heavier. You wonder how you know, you used to get them around.
The 1-2. High, 2-2.
See, this is the big thing here. Everybody used the maple bat, and everything used to be ash. Louisville Slugger, Adirondack, they were all ash, and now the maple's a little bit lighter, a little bit harder. It's like everybody uses it, but those bats explode when they crack, Tony.
More and more every year, we just see, you know, shrapnel going everywhere.
That's the one that Cano just broke.
It used to be the old bats, Paul, you're talking about. You know, you can get a crack in them and not even know it sometimes.
Keep using them. There were times where, you know, I used to tape my bat, and you'd see a little, what you almost, you know, call it a fracture, a little tiny, you keep using it. Especially if it had a lot of hits in it. Boy, I tell you what, Harrison has stayed in off the plate. Tough at bat for Cano. 2 strikes, you can't give away that outside corner, because a lot of lefties love to throw that breaking ball away. And he's kept that fastball in on his hands to hold it back.
Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Runner at second. We're in the bottom of the third, and there is no score. And now Cano's worked the count full. Tough at bat for both. Oh, that's sweat. And he walks Cano. Shoulder time as Maddox comes out. Hitting the road, take the Yankees with you this season. Subscribe to MLB.tv today to see every Yankees out-of-market game live online and on your favorite devices at HD quality. Visit Yankees.com to order and get more details. MLB.tv. Baseball everywhere. Not a great ratio, almost 1-to-1. And you get the double pat on the chest too. That's part of the trick.
You like visits to the mound in big situations, Coney? You think it brought you back, or you just hated it?
Hated it.
Hated it?
Did not want it. Didn't like the catcher out there either. You know, I mean, I didn't want anybody out there.
Just leave me alone,
Yeah.
huh? I got in this mess. Let me get out of it.
Girardi tells stories that used to bark at him. Get away from me. Get back there.
I kicked him out of the bullpen one day, warming up before the game, and he came down. You know, the starting catcher comes down to catch the last 10 minutes of your warm up, and my stuff was so bad that night, and he caught about 4 pitches, and I kicked him out.
You've seen enough.
I didn't want him to see how bad my stuff was.
Thought he was going to go into Joe's office and get somebody up.
Should have seen the look on his face when I just ordered him out of the bullpen. Get out of here.
These are the things that were going on, Michael. I was out there getting loose. You know that?
Yep. 2-1. How'd you pitch that night? Do you remember?
I think we gutted one out. You know, we kept him in the game. You know, and nothing special, but you get fooled warming up sometimes in the bullpen. You can have great stuff, and then you walk out there and you got nothing, and vice versa. You think, oh man, I got nothing tonight, and all of a sudden, first or second inning, you find your release point or you find a grip. Now they need a walkie-talkie at this point. This is just overdoing it. I mean, the third time, you know, you had the pitcher out there, and you know, unless you're worried about the runner to share on second base stealing signs, you know, that's when I'm in the dugout barking at the opposing guys. You know, get a walkie-talkie here.
Fairly new catcher. They just got him, so he's not real familiar with the staff. Count 3-1, and you can see as he was jogging out, Matt Harrison was turning away, like reading the scoreboard. He did not want him out there. Granderson is on deck.
Well, he's in a tough situation now. Ender Jones, dead fastball hitter, does well off lefties. He's kind of pitched himself in a position where he's going to have to give him something to hit. Went with a changeup again off the plate.
Maybe we can do that. They do it in football, you know, with a coach on the sideline and the quarterback's got the mic in his helmet. Yeah. You do that with the pitchers. Get a little mic in your ear.
Last night with the bases loaded, Nick Swisher. His 200th home run. And the Yankees' 9th grand slam this year. And now in the third inning again, Granderson has a chance. He swings at the first pitch and a high fly ball, but that is in the park. Hamilton is there, and he'll put it away for the final out. No runs to hit, and 3 men left. Mike Maddox got it done. We go to the 4th. Andrus leads off. Verizon 4G LTE, America's fastest 4G network. The Rangers are one of 4 teams to lose consecutive World Series since 1960. Who are the other 3 teams? We will find that out in the bottom of the 4th. Elvis Andrus will lead off. And there's a strike. And a strike, 0-2. Andrus, Hamilton, and Beltre here in the 4th.
Kind of tell Paulie when Kuroda gets it going, he gets a little more hesitation right in the middle of that windup, right about right there. A little hes, little timing mechanism. You see a lot of Japanese pitchers that feature that real deliberate type of mechanical style.
It's be very frustrating to face guys like this, especially when you had a leg kick, which I did. And if you got your leg up in the air, there's really no way to stop it. And if they would hesitate, remember Nomo did kind of the same thing with that twist, and you either mess up their timing with the speed of the pitch or the windup.
Chop toward Cano. He charges and gets Andrus for the first out.
Texas came in here playing pretty well, hitting the ball well, and it just shows how good Kuroda has been tonight. 4th inning, hasn't given up a hit, hasn't even given up a ball hit hard. The Texas Rangers lineup up and down, good hitters, and their best hitter at the plate right now.
Here's Josh Hamilton. Doesn't like to take pitches. He got some grief from the owner of the Rangers. He had a really bad July, and Nolan Ryan came out and said he's got to be more selective. He's just not doing the job for us. And not many people can say that about Josh Hamilton. Nolan Ryan can. And then Hamilton came out and said that he was having problems giving up chewing tobacco, and that had been weakening him. But it seems like he's battled through that issue, and certainly he's had a good August. Has an 11-game hitting streak.
I'll tell you what, you don't see this very often. But behind the batting cage are a lot of fans that get to go on the field, and they get a lot of Yankee autographs and stuff. And I went over and talked to a couple people, and a lot of them had Josh Hamilton autographs. He actually came out, signed autographs as a visiting player. You don't see that very often.
Swing and a miss. Hamilton down on strikes. This day in Yankee history is brought to you in part by Nissan. Nissan's Summer 7 Days event ends September 4th. Visit ChooseNissan.com. Hurry into your local Nissan dealer. We go back to 1993. The New York Yankees retire Reggie Jackson's number 44 on Reggie Jackson Day.
Remember that.
Here's Beltre. Swing and a miss.
I'll tell you, yesterday, Michael, we talked about Josh Hamilton and how you get him out. And basically said you make him swing at balls. And his last at bat, I don't think he swung at a strike. Every ball out of the zone. Kuroda doing a good job keeping these hitters, swinging at pitches. Again, this is the split finger out of the zone. Nothing you can do with that ball.
The 0-2. Fly ball, left center. Right there is Granderson. And the Rangers go down in order as Kuroda pitching another good one for the Yankees. We go to the bottom of the 4th, and McGee will lead it off. which is brought to you by our friends at Verizon. The Rangers are one of 4 teams to lose consecutive World Series since 1960. Who are the other 3 teams? The answer is the Yankees in 63 and 64 to the Dodgers and Cards. The Dodgers to the Yankees twice in 77 and 78. And then the Braves lost to Minnesota and Toronto in 91 and 92.
Not gonna lie, Michael, I didn't know that. You?
I should have known, and I can't say I knew them all. Ground ball up the middle and off the glove of a diving Andrews into center field. And Casey McGee is 2 for 2.
Andrews, yeah, he's got some range. So if he doesn't get it, that's a clean knock. Glove was there. The hop took it over the glove. Thinks he should have had it by the look on his face.
Russell Martin hits one to left field. Murphy is there. He'll make the catch. Hey, we got to congratulate a colleague, one of our teammates. Kenny Singleton became a grandpa again today.
Wow.
Kenley Jane Singleton, born this morning. She's 7 pounds, 7 ounces, 20 inches long. Everybody is fine. Born to Kenny's son, Justin. So congratulations to the Singleton family. He's now a double grandpa.
Kenley, huh?
Kenley. He could be actually Kenny Singleton. That could be a nickname. Well, congratulations to Kenny. And Kenny will be with us on Friday for the Yankees Red Sox. There's a strike.
It's funny, you watch this game 0-0. You just get the feeling the Yankees are having more opportunities to, get that big hit, drive some runs in. Kuroda has been that good. Harrison seems to have made the big pitch when he needed to and got out a couple jams. But again, the problem if you're Harrison is, you look up, you're in 71 pitches in the 4th inning. You haven't given up any runs, but boy, you've wasted a lot of bullets.
Carapazza said no, didn't go.
Harrison's really kind of slowing this game down. He usually works pretty quick, and you start to see some of the Rangers kind of getting back on their heels and too slow.
Chases that high fastball, does Nix, and the count 2-2.
Thing you're looking at this series, is it going to make or break either of these teams in this series? Probably not, but both of these teams will be in the playoffs. And the one thing you don't want to get in your head is Texas has lost 6 in a row here in New York. You don't want to get in a position where you just feel like you can't win in a ballpark going into the playoffs.
Ron Washington and his lieutenant Jackie Moore. Fouled away.
Harrison's been the workhorse too for the Rangers, averaging 6.7 innings per start. Leads the team with 14 quality starts. As Paulie said, 75 pitches here in the bottom of the 4th. His high on the year is 121.
It's funny. You look at the Texas rotation, and if you win the division, you set up your rotation. Right now, if the playoffs started for them tonight, they probably would start Harrison as their #1 starter. Holland, probably has better stuff, but has not pitched nearly as well as Harrison has this year.
How about Darvish?
Darvish, yeah, I guess you could use him too. But I mean, Harrison, numbers-wise, probably the top of their staff. Talked last night about two of their starters on the disabled list: Colby Lewis, Neftali Feliz.
Nick's battling. That one's popped up near the Yankee dugout, and right there is Michael Young to make the play. 2 outs.
Tony, that's another one that irritates you as a hitter. You know, you just another foot or two, and you get another crack at it. Oh, for it to stay in play. Michael Young get over there, finds the wall. It's the thing you can do as a fielder. As soon as you find the wall or something, then you know how far you can go.
You know, those foul balls have a curve on them too because of the spin off of the bat. And it was way out over the dugout, and then it curved right back, just to the point where Young could get it.
Fouled away.
Derek Jeter just gets good looks against left-handed pitching his whole career. Coming into this year, hitting .372 off of lefties.
I think Derek, you know, the one place when he's not going well, you can get it is in off the plate on his hands, and I think he sees the ball well enough for lefties because of where they deliver it from that he doesn't have to worry about that.
Jeter grounds into the force, and that will do it. We go to the 5th inning. Nelson Cruz is going to lead off. It's no score. In part by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. All right, we've got a little pitcher's duel going on here in the Bronx between Harrison and Kuroda. And on the lottery scoreboard, it's 0-0. And that scoreboard is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Hey, you never know. We go to the 5th inning. Nelson Cruz will lead off. It'll be Cruz, Young, and Murphy against Kuroda, who's looked very sharp. And a breaking ball strike. Jeff Kellogg calls the strike.
Talked about Nelson's his approach to hitting last night, how he keeps his shoulder open and then dives in, but you still have to keep that shoulder closed. It looks like he's coming in and then opening up again. Pitch to people's stances, Coney?
Definitely, you watch that, because generally, you know, the illusion is with an open stance that it would be hard to pitch him in. But as you're saying, his first move is to close that stance, and generally hitters that start open don't like the ball in.
No, they're closing up to get to that ball away.
Popped up. Long run for Teixeira, but he gets there to make the play. Friday night, the Yankees are back in action here on My 9 as they take on the Red Sox. Coverage will start at 7 p.m., so don't miss a pitch. Then the action continues Saturday afternoon starting at 3:30 on our sister station, Fox 5. Yankees, Red Sox, Game 1 Friday night at 7 on My 9, and Game 2 Saturday afternoon at 3:30 on Fox 5. So one away, and that's going to bring up Michael Young, who struck out in the second inning. Swing and a miss.
So you're seeing a lot of guys swing at that slider, and it's ending up, I mean, the movement must be late, and it must be very hard to pick up the spin, because you've seen too many right-handed hitters just waving at his slider tonight.
Kuroda's father was a professional pitcher in Japan. He's got it in his DNA. Kazuhiro Kuroda, his father, played for the Nankai Hawks.
What was his first name, Coney?
Kazuhiro.
There you go.
But Dave Waldstein, the excellent writer for the New York Times, wrote an amazing article about Hiroki Kuroda earlier this year, about his hardships growing up in Japan. It was a different time back then. He was forced to run foul pole after a bad game all night, 15 hours without water.
Lined into right field. Nick Swisher is there for the second out.
It was a remarkable story, Michael. You know, Dave Waldstein did a great job with it. He used to sneak over to a dirty river to sneak a drink of water, you know, when the coaches weren't looking. Talk about a tough childhood, and, you know, just sort of that samurai warrior spirit. He said they were trying to make him tough. Obviously, that's not done anymore.
I don't know if I'd make it over here, Coney. What do you think?
Samurai Kuroda right there.
It doesn't make it over there anymore because they've changed it quite a bit. And obviously, it was abusive. Count 2-0.
Kuroda talked about how many of his players would faint at practice, try to sneak to that river to get a drink, because they didn't believe in giving. They thought if you drank water, it made you weak.
Yeah.
Ground ball is short. Well, Kuroda has pitched 5 innings, and the Rangers have not picked up a base hit. We're halfway through. There's no score. Swisher will lead off. Baseball on My 9 is brought to you in part by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better. TV, internet, and home phone from Time Warner Cable. Your Tri-State Ford dealers. And by Atlantic City. Do anything, do everything. Do AC. Two base runners for the Rangers, and they got there via walk. So Kuroda has a big 0 in the hit column, as the Yankees have a big 0 in the run column as well. Swisher, Teixeira, and Cano against Harrison's. No score, but the Yankees seem like they're in control in this game. Just haven't been able to push across a run. That one is grounded to second. Tough hop for Kinsler. He's there to make the play. 1 out.
Some two pitchers. I mean, it makes it look. It makes the game look easy, Tony. When pitchers have their good stuff, keeping guys off base, keeping guys off balance. Get in a game like this, you start looking at the 5th inning, 0-0. Then you start realizing that this ballpark, as a home run park, I mean, it can be one pitch that can change this whole game. So you start to just go every single pitch, especially as long as this game goes on scoreless.
That one has popped up in the right, coming on his cruise. He makes the play. Sounds like Teixeira broke his bat. Yankees got a nice sight earlier today as Andy Pettit hit the field and threw off flat ground. X-rays on his foot show that it's healing, and he's hoping to get on the mound, not maybe pitching a game, but get on the mound by the beginning of September, and he thinks that would give him enough time to be an effective pitcher come October.
Cody, one of the guys that used to really amaze me, because a lot of pitchers would take a week off and they would be rusty. I remember some of your best games were, 2 weeks off, 20 days off. I mean, you got to think going into the playoffs after, if you could pitch in September, you could definitely be ready as a veteran pitcher.
Especially later in my career, it gave me time to rest my arm. You get a little life back in your arm, and if you've got control of your mechanics, it can really help you. Derek Lowe with his 4 innings last night after a couple of weeks off. We saw CC Sabathia do that earlier this year and not miss a beat.
Hit sharply to second, and Harrison works a 1-2-3 inning. All right, we're going to the 6th. 0-0. Yankees and the Rangers. Luis Martinez will start it off. on September 10th, Family Feud moves to 5 p.m. Join Steve Harvey every weeknight for a full hour of big-time fun and outrageous survey answers. Think your family could win fast money? It's time to play the Feud. Weeknights at 5 p.m. starting September 10th on My 9. Move on at the game. How great was Richard Dawson? Give you the out-of-town scoreboard as we move along. Brought to you by Chase. Take a step forward with Chase Quick Pay by sending money as easily as sending an email. And there's the strike to Luis Martinez. No score. The 0-1. Chop to second. Right there is Cano. One away.
Well, I don't know why the outfielders are going out there, Coney. I mean, it's a couple good pitches and a ground ball out every time up, and it just shows you what good pitching can do. I mean, these are not two of the easiest lineups to navigate through. I mean, both sides run scoring machines.
Pitch to Moreland. Foul back.
You think about Japanese-born pitchers that have pitched in this country. You think about, obviously, Hideo Nomo. You mentioned him earlier. The Tornado when he first came over. The Kuroda right there. I mean, he's got a career 3.41 ERA here in America, which is the best of any Japanese-born pitchers that have made the trek over here to pitch.
The 0-1.
So you Darvish right there, the most recent one to try his luck over here, and has been pretty darn successful so far.
I realize they came out to stretch how tall he is, and you know, it's just, you don't expect that from a lot of the Japanese pitchers. He's probably 6'5".
Count 1-2.
You take a little bit off of this one. Slurvy slider looking. That's when you know you're feeling good. You start changing speeds on your slider a little bit. Take a little off.
And the 1-2. Grounded up the middle. Cano will get him for the second out.
And Robbie Cano, not everybody can make this play because you have to have tremendous arm strength to be running towards shortstop or left field. And without stopping and pivoting to just throw back against your body, makes it look easy, but that's not an easy play.
And right on the money. Every out, you know, you get the sense of this crowd right now. Every out, everybody's starting to take note of what's going on in this game.
Here's Ian Kinsler.
Starting to get to that point, Paulie. You know, maybe it's a little early, but you know, the crowd's sensing. You know, especially gets this out, gets out of the sixth.
I think it's the seventh inning is when we really start to notice what pitchers are doing.
Yankees shift for Kinsler. They have the second baseman Cano on the shortstop side of second.
The guy was looking at you. Did you see that?
Must have scared him. Kinsler is 0 for 2 tonight. The 1-1. Whispers across the outside corner, 1-2.
Kinsler doesn't like it. Kuroda's been throwing it there all night. Kinsler all over the dish. Just off.
Yeah, just in the other batter's box, Coney. That's a tough one to hit. Need like a boat paddle to get that one.
Count 2-2.
I want to see the overhead cam.
the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. All right, you can start the text. You can start the tweet. You can call up your friends. Tune to my 9. He's not allowed to hit through 6.
Giveaway when the Yankees take on the Rangers. The first 18,000 guests 21 and older receive a Yankees beach mat, courtesy of Tommy Bahama. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Visit the stadium ticket window, Yankees Clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849.
No score, bottom of the 6th inning, as Andrew Jones grounds one to Beltre. 1 pitch, 1 out. Well, it's obvious that Hiroki Kuroda's doing his part. The Yankees have to do their part and get a run. Let's talk about jinxes. Obviously, people get all nervous when you say somebody's pitching a no-hitter. David, I think you heard John Sterling and me say you had a no-hitter about 20 times as you were throwing your perfect game, right?
Well, I did, because, you know, a lot of times I would go up into the clubhouse where we'd have the game on the radio, you know, blaring throughout the Yankee clubhouse, and I would change my undershirt every inning. So I certainly heard the broadcast. Heard you and John, and every word you said, at least in between innings when the Yankees were batting.
Now, do players believe in jinxes? Did players not say anything to you?
Oh, yes.
I hear too many people mention it. You might, like, I would talk to Bernie about it or talk to Tino about it, but, you know, you would look around to see that Coney wasn't around. I mean, you didn't want to hear them. You would never talk to the pitcher about it.
But you would say to your team, oh, he's got a no-hitter here?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you see what's going on here, or, you know, it just, you know, got to make a diving play. You can't let anything drop. It was just a kind of a reminder, but, you know, it's a tough situation here because it's a 0-0 game.
Now, David, you did speak to David Wells, right? Well, you could speak to somebody. I mean,
but everybody left him alone, but you,
for the most part. But he, you know, he was bouncing off the walls. He needed somebody to say something to him.
As Granderson swings and misses.
You know, obviously, the game in the balance here, and you know, there's still a lot of game to be played here, but it is a 0-0 to game. But you know, David Wells' perfect game. You know, he had a pretty comfortable lead. Towards the end of the game, you know, he was just looking at me, begging me probably to say something to him. And I said, you know, I said, Boomer, I play catch with you every day. You'd show me something. If you break out that knuckleball, you throw me every day. I thought it was
something about a knuckleball. I thought I did remember that.
And he seemed to appreciate it. You know, he kind of got a little chuckle, broke the ice, and then off he went.
Now, one thing that's extraordinary, what we're seeing from Kuroda, is the Rangers aren't a good hitting team. They're a great hitting team. They lead the majors in runs. So this is a team that can rake, and he has held them down for 6 innings. So the Yankees, again, their offense has to do its part. Kuroda is in the dugout. And the count 2-1.
9 outs to go is a long way, especially in a 0-0 game here.
Think about it. McGee has had better at bats pretty much than any Yankee. Hit the ball hard twice. Neither pitcher has really given up anything hard hit.
Grounded to short and through Andrews. And that'll allow McGee to reach. So an E6 to extend the inning.
I'll tell you what, you're not seeing a typical night from Andrews at shortstop. I mean, defensively, he's one of the better and best in the league. He's had a couple of plays that, you know, they had got bad hops in this one. You just don't see this happen very often. Kind of got caught in between. Or did they come up on the ball? Sure-handed over there at shortstop most of the time.
Chopped slowly to short. Andrews will get Martin. And that'll do it. No runs, no hits, 1 error, and 1 man left. It's getting fun. We go to the 7th. No score. Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. 2 base runners for the Texas Rangers. Elvis Andrus walked, and so did Mitch Moreland. Those are their only runners on base. Andrus came with 1 out in the first, was erased on a double play. Moreland came with 2 outs in the third, and Ian Kinsler then grounded into a 6-4 force to end the inning. So Kuroda has now retired the last 10 in a row. Kuroda really has been, you could argue that he's been the Yankees' best pitcher in the second half. He has given you a representative outing every single time out. He has not gotten great run support, which seems to be happening here tonight. And he's pitching a beauty through 6. Andrews, Hamilton, and Beltre as the Rangers looking for their first hit. Ground ball up the middle. Grabbed there by Nix. Gets to his feet, fires. And Andrews will reach with a base hit. And that'll do it for the no-hitter.
Nix did a good job getting to this ball. There was absolutely no chance once he got up to make a play. Good range, but all of a sudden now, if you're Kuroda, you have to get rid of that, and you have to realize where you are in the game. You're in the 7th inning. You're in a 0-0 game. You can't, just quit focusing because you're obviously, I don't care who you are, you're disappointed when you give up a hit.
Andrews, of course, is a threat to run.
I'll tell you what, looking back at last night's game, the Texas Rangers really helped out Phelps. A couple pickoffs, a couple big outs, and times that they were kind of setting up big innings. The Rangers do run. If you can be smart, you can get some outs from them too. You're going through, you're cruising through the toughest out to get the first guy you come out. Does it take a pitch or two to get your rhythm back in an inning? Say, from the 6th to the 7th?
Yeah, it's always the leadoff guy, without a doubt. And, Kuroda made a good pitch there. It was a slider away to Andrews. And, I think Nix was kind of playing him pull a little bit on that slider because shortstops can see the signs. You're right. You got to let it go right here. And Kuroda has allowed 15 stolen bases this year too, so I'm sure the Rangers are looking at those numbers and trying to take advantage. And you see first pitch slider, he got it out there, and you see the swing. Andres, kind of a half-hearted swing, kind of a check swing, just got it up the middle enough.
In the dirt, count 1-1.
Job by Russell Martin. Andrews, if you're a base runner and you see that ball in the dirt, immediately you get a good jump. Russell Martin kept it in front of him, and a lot of times your depth perception isn't good when you're on base, and you can't see how far it gets away from the catcher. See, once you freeze, you're better off staying.
Drive, right center field. Swisher back. He's on the track. He makes the play in front of the track. Tagging is Andrews. And he will get to second on the long fly ball by Hamilton.
I've seen this as kind of the new play in baseball where guys tag up from first base on long fly balls, and it all goes to just the read. Immediately as a base runner. The ball off the bat I thought had possibilities. And Andrews gets a good read. And you didn't see this, years back. Guys tagging up, but it's a great play because obviously it puts you in scoring position. Swisher does kind of that turn pivot and good throw in, but Andrews has good speed.
Just a little different sound off the end of the bat there from Hamilton that you can hear on the field a little better. Certainly Cano's going to be really close to second base here because with one out, you don't want to allow Andres just to get a walking lead.
Pitch inside. This is what Hamilton's swing sounded like.
A little muffled, and he knows right away. Just off the end of the bat, even though maybe a half an inch closer to the barrel, and that ball is way out of here.
He kept it, Kuroda kept it into right center field too. That ball's pulled, it's got a chance. You're right, Josh Hamilton has hit enough to know that he didn't get that one. That pitch right there, that's tough. 94 with movement in on your hands, as many sliders as he's thrown right-handed hitters tonight. See, the slider goes that way. Well, this ball's coming back in. Not much you can do with it.
Ball ends up off the plate, almost in.
the way.
See too many pitches that you feel like Kuroda got away with. We got away with one there. Beltre looked like he was on it. He was going to right center with it. Just didn't get the barrel on it. This ball was up and had some plate to it. See this ball right down the middle. Just have not seen him make too many mistakes. And when you don't make a lot of them, hitters aren't looking for them, and you get away with them once in a while.
The difference between 87 miles an hour and 94 kind of saved him. Well, Beltre did have a good swing. Little tardy.
And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Got him. 2 away. Big strikeout for Kuroda.
Say, Coney, I mean, this is the slider that's been the best he's had all year. It just continually kind of cuts away. And again, it's all picking up the spin as a hitter. And tonight, that slider must be so tight that you don't pick up the spin as a hitter. Looks like a fastball and just runs off the plate.
Walk the dog. Kuroda's slider has gotten a lot better over the second half of the season.
Here's Nelson Cruz with a runner on second. And that one gets past Martin as Andrews will move to third. And they scored a wild pitch.
You see, when you're setting up in, you don't expect a fastball down and away. He took one off his big toe as well. So he's kind of in the rocking chair, so you don't have time to get over and try to smother that and block it. You just have to try to pick it. Now, if you've got a curveball or an off-speed pitch as a catcher, you can anticipate those balls in the dirt. When you call for a fastball inside and you get one away in the dirt, it's next to impossible to try to block it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you've talked so many times about the hitter having less than a half a second to adjust to a pitch. Well, the catcher is in the same boat. And when you're looking in, kind of leaning in, you're right. You just don't have time to adjust to it.
One and one. Cruz has struck out and fouled out to Teixeira. No score, but a runner on third for the Texas Rangers with 2 outs. A 1-1. Ground ball to Cano. He's right there. And another 0 on the scoreboard for Hiroki Kuroda. No runs ahead, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch here at the stadium. Rangers nothing, Yankees nothing, but we'll stay right here to honor America in the Bronx.
Please rise and offer a moment of silent prayer as we remember the servicemen and women who are serving our country at home and around the globe. Thank you. Now, join in Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America.
To the ocean
to you by your tri-state area Volkswagen dealers. Visit VWDealer.com. Jeter with a hit. Teixeira with a double. A walk to Cano and Jones. 2 for 3 for Casey McGee, and he reached on an E6 the other time up. Russell Martin has walked. So the Yankees have just 4 hits against Matt Harrison and just 1 hit for the Rangers, and that came in the 7th inning breakup. Kuroda's no-hit bid. It'll be Nix, Jeter, and Swisher against Harrison, and the pitch is high, 1-0. Fouled away. Nick struck out and fouled out to first. 1-2.
You know, Nick's in his head's going through that. You know, if I could have played over 2 more steps, I could have got to that ball. It drives you crazy as a player. You do the best you could. Obviously, had no chance of throwing Andrus out at first base, but you know, it's all about positioning. And if you move over a step here or a step there.
The thing of it is that the middle infielders can see the signs from the catcher, so they can adjust one way or lean one way or the other, anticipating a fastball or an off-speed.
You mentioned it, Coney. That was an off-speed pitch, which most guys will end up pulling. It's just Kuroda's slider has been so good tonight that guys have not had good swings off of it. One thing, if you're the guy that breaks up a no-hitter, you're not going to apologize for it. Believe me, you're trying to get hits every time up there.
High pop-up, shallow left. Andrews called off by Murphy, and Murphy makes the play for the first out. Fans, now's your chance to take on Russ. Brought to you by Toyota. Which former Yankee would you like to see have their number retired next? Would it be A, Joe Torre, B, Jorge Posada, C, Paul O'Neill, or D, Bernie Williams? Text A, B, C, or D to 70377, or you can go to my9tv.com and find out the results right after the game. It's Take on Russ, brought to you by Toyota. There's a base hit in the center field for Derek Jeter, his second hit of the night.
He always goes through the little times where he doesn't swing real well and he gets a lot of hits, infield hits. Right now he's going through those times where he's hitting the ball well, driving the ball to right center. He's out in front of that ball, but he stays through it. Amazing the type of year when you just look at the hits and where he is and the league leaders playing the position of shortstop. What a great year he's had so far.
Ron Washington's going to take the ball from Harrison, and the Yankees are glad to see him go. He pitched very, very well. Alexi Ogando is going to come on to face Nick Swisher as the Yankees try to get a run. Scott and Todd from New York's WPLJ as they dish on all the hottest celebrity news. Tune into Dish Nation weeknights at 6 and 11 p.m. starting September 10th, and it's right here on My 9.
Cody, we brought some heat in. Ogando throws as hard as anybody in the league. High upper 90s fastball. Lanky right-hander. Gets on you quick.
And Ron Washington makes the call to the bullpen, brought to you by Verizon Fios. Introducing Verizon Fios Quantum Speed. Internet twice as fast as anything America has ever seen. Well, they turned Swisher around to the shorter side of the ballpark. You see the numbers on Ogando. He had one start out of his 40 games, 2-0, 2.63, and he has a strikeout per inning, and he's got good control, a 193 batting average against. Swisher with 5 RBIs yesterday, including his 200th career home run, a grand slam. He's hitless in 5 at-bats lifetime against Ogando. There's a strike. Jeter leads off first, held there by Michael Young. A 268 hitter left-handed with 12 of his 15 home runs. Foul back 99 miles an hour by Ogando.
And you just see that swing by Swisher, how everything looks a little bit rushed. And it's because all of a sudden you've gone from 95 to 99. You just don't have a lot of time. See, it kind of takes the naturalness out of the swing because you got to try to rush to get to it.
Again, 2 high-powered offenses held scoreless here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And we're in the information age, Paulie. You know, you could get the reading on the pitch right away. Back in the day, you know, Bob Feller had to ride a motorcycle by him.
Remember that? I saw that video.
Miles an hour just to time his
That was
fastball.
very scientific, letting that thing go as soon as the motorcycle went by him.
And he had his tie still on, too.
Probably the first pitch he threw all day, too, right?
Took his sport coat off, chucked it in there.
One thing about power pitchers out of the bullpen is they are slow to the plate. Good guys to run on if you can get a break. Problem is he gets the ball to the catcher so fast they get a good opportunity to throw you out.
2-2. Wow. A little quick on 98.
I'll tell you what, I mean, that's just an emergency thing. You can't wait to see if it's a strike. You feel it coming in and you just bail and try to get some wood on it, which Nick Swisher did. All in on his hands. So he has to pull his hands in so far that he has to let go with his right hand. Oh my. That's like a wiffle ball swing, Cody, back in the old days, isn't it?
Wow.
Bottom of the 7th, looking for the first run of the game. bat.
Nick Swisher is battling, and you always think that the more pitches you see, the better you're going to see it. But Ogando is throwing so hard. You see that bat, it's got marks all over it from the leather on the baseball, just fouling off.
The old Ted Williams line from the '99 All-Star game. You can smell burnt wood with this fastball.
You could. I mean, that was the weirdest thing. You see guys every once in a while, the foul swing, and they'll smell the bat, and it is. It's the friction of the ball going off the bat when you don't center it, and it smells like, you know, you got kindling in it.
2-2. One with a breaking ball, and really a tough at bat for Swisher as he's worked the count full. This will be the 8th pitch of the at bat.
That was the first breaking ball, Coney. Everything else has been upper 90s, and we're going right back to that fastball here.
Runner goes. That one is drilled deep to right center field. Going back Cruz, looking up. See ya! A big 2-run home run for Nick Swisher. The Yankees are on the board. They lead 2-0.
Talk about a dejected pitcher right there. Harrison has done such a great job, and then Nick Swisher got to a pitch. I mean, this ball's up out of the strike zone too, but he had seen enough in this at bat where he finally squared one up. I'll tell you, know immediately when you catch up to a 97-mile-an-hour fastball that it's not coming back.
Like they say, the pitcher can supply the power. You just find the barrel of the bat.
Pitch to Teixeira is low, 1-0.
And if looks could kill, that Harrelson look
that's just
over the top of the dugout, the top of the railing.
Got to be kind of frustrated. I don't know the pitch count exactly, but I mean, if you're in a 0-0 game, to be pulled out, and you're not mad at the guy that gives up the home run. You just wanted the opportunity to stay in there and see if you could continually get out of these jams.
And for Harrison, he is the pitcher of record because the runner on first base was his responsibility. So Nick goes to Ogando, but they're trailing 2-0, and he would get the loss if they don't come back. That one is drilled deep to right. There it goes. See ya. Back-to-back home runs for the Yankees. A solo shot for Teixeira. It's 3-0 Bombers.
Michael, this is a tough home run call for you because this left the bat was in the seats in about a second and a half. I mean, this ball is an absolute bullet, a line drive. The question was, did he get too much topspin on it? You see a hip open up and just right on the barrel. I love those replays, Tony. I don't know if you enjoy them as much as I do.
You really get it. It's a great shot of the arc of Teixeira's uppercut swing.
So Ogando throwing hard, but it's going out even harder. Back-to-back home runs, and that'll bring up Cano. 1-0.
You see this front hip open up, and it kind of clears for that bat head to get out. Tony, you said he didn't, kind of got in on him, but I'll tell you what, uppercut swing, just a power swing. That's all. That's how you classify that.
1-1.
Teixeira's swing, too. You see that front leg stiffen up immediately. Create a firm front side and almost keeps his weight back, as you said, kind of back legs it and sits and spins with an uppercut.
See Robbie on some of his highlights, how his weight transfers right when he hits the baseball to his front side that generates power. Teixeira, as Tony said, ends up on his back foot and he just gets extension and drives it out that way. Kind of the old school kind of power hitters.
Count 3-1.
Suddenly Gondo came out of the bullpen. He looks a little gun shy right now. He's gone to some sliders and some sinkers. Not accustomed to seeing his best fastball end up in the seats back to back.
Ground ball to first. Michael Young flips to Ogando. Swisher, his home run came on a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, and Teixeira's came on a 99. So you can't throw hard enough that a major leaguer just doesn't have a chance. I mean, you've got to mix something else in and change speeds. And the more they see, they'll just time. It's amazing.
The design of the game, it's just it's as if, you know, 60 feet 6 inches is just right. You know, 90 feet on the base pass, just right. All the bang plays you get from deep and short or third base. The dimensions.
Tap to the right side of the mound. Ogando throws out Jones, but the Yankees finally break through. A single by Jeter against Harrison. Then Ogando comes in. 98 goes the other way. A 2-run home run. And then turning around 99 is Mark Teixeira, and it's 3-0 Yankees. Scoreboard, which is brought to you by the Honda Summer Clearance Event. Find your own great ending at the Summer Clearance Event now at your Honda dealer. It's 3-0 Yankees, so Yankees finally break out on the board. A 2-run home run by Swisher, and then followed a solo home run by Teixeira. New left fielder is Ichiro Suzuki. As the Yankees tighten up the defense, take out Andrew Jones. And now Kuroda has a lead. He's allowed just one hit, and that came in the 7th. There's a strike to Michael Young. There's a strike. David Robertson getting ready.
Funny, he's kept the right-handers honest with enough fastballs in off the plate where he's been able to throw that slider all night out on the outside corner.
Great combination, you know, two different pitches going in opposite directions. And the thing about Kuroda's slider is he retains some velocity on it. It's still in the mid-80s.
The 0-2. Still 0-2.
Kuroda will feature more variety to left-handed batters, but to righties, it's predominantly, like Paulie said, that hard-running two-seamer in on righties and the slider away. He doesn't throw too many splitters to right-handed batters, but he'll break out a splitter to a lefty.
There's a base hit up the middle for Michael Young, leading off the 8th inning.
Tonight after the game, a grand influence. Who inspired Curtis Granderson to wear his socks so high? Don't miss his emotional interview on the Verizon Frios game wrap-up tonight on the 10 o'clock news on My 9. I'd have to watch that, Michael. I don't know this story. You know this story,
No,
Conan?
I don't know.
Well, you know, we got a chance in Toronto to meet his father, Mr. Granderson. What an impressive man. I mean, just a nice guy. The Granderson family from the Chicago area was up in Toronto.
Mr. Granderson really knows his baseball. He was stumping all of us with baseball trivia. Great questions, too. Count 0-1 on David Murphy. He's grounded to second and grounded to short. This should be 2. There's 1. There's 2. A 4-6-3 double play.
Robbie with the hop, the back pedal, the flip. Nick's just enough. Backhand flip by a step.
Robbie would have been a good little point guard. He's got a couple different angles he can give you that pass from. Joe Girardi, I mean, this game is just set up. When his starting pitching is good, his bullpen is just set up the way he wants. Robertson, Soriano late in the game.
Martinez grounds it up the middle, grabbed there by Nix, and that's going to do it. 8 shutout innings, 2-hit shutout innings for Hiroki Kuroda. We go to the bottom of the 8th, and Granderson will lead it off. Brought to you in part by Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. Prudential, bring your challenges. And by the all-new Skechers Go Run Ride. Go like never before with Skechers Performance. The Honda Summer Clearance Event scoreboard, it's 3-0. The Yankees leading the Texas Rangers. Yankees got their run in the 7th with a 2-run shot by Swisher and a solo shot by Teixeira. And that's the only mark on the board right now. Good pitching on both sides. And the new pitcher is Tanner Scheppers. Let's see his numbers. This is his 24th game, 28 hits and 21 1/3 innings. And Scheppers deals a strike. And Granderson goes down on strikes.
I had to look twice. I thought it was Schleppers, Michael. It's Scheppers.
Scheppers.
I didn't even attempt it. I didn't want to throw my version in there. We talked about the Boston controversy going on, and boy, it sure hadn't helped up. Baltimore just beating up on Boston 7-1 tonight.
And Tampa Bay will be playing in Seattle a little later on. McGee swings and misses. David, we spoke about how impressed we all were with David Phelps, and you'll see the Hyundai out-of-town scoreboard as we move along. But Kuroda's performance today really bodes well for the Yankees with CC on the DL and the inconsistency of late of Hughes and Nova. You can use a guy that you know every time he goes out there, he's been giving them a really solid start and a chance to win.
Yeah, not only is he on a really good roll, he seems to be getting stronger and better. His fastball's a little quicker. We saw him up to 95 with his velocity and movement with that 95, and his slider looks a little sharper.
And if you look at the beginning of the year, it was all about try to get ahead so you can get into that split finger count, and he's gotten away from that because his slider is so good now. I mean, he's using the sliders to get ahead and to put away right-handed hitters. His fastball's good enough to, when he did make a couple mistakes, he got away with it. They were foul balls.
As McGee goes down on strikes, 2 strikeouts for Scheppers.
Girardi on the phone again. I mean, this is a decision. I mean, here's a guy that's thrown a shutout, or do you go to your closer? It's been automatic. Tony, I would imagine that if you're in this position, you're the pitcher, you would love the manager to come over and say, hey, do you want this? Have you had enough? And 9 times out of 10, you're going to say I want it, but there are some guys that will say, I've had enough.
You got to give him a shot for a 2-hit shut piece right here. Got sitting on 97 pitches.
I agree. I would. Obviously, you've got your ace in the hole in Soriano in the bullpen if needed, but Kuroda just shows no signs of getting tired or starting to miss up or starting to miss with that slider. He's been automatic.
Yeah, Derek Lowe saved the bullpen last night. Kuroda backing it up tonight.
Two and two.
Continually think about what is happening. And Kuroda has shut down, one of the offensive powers in all of baseball, and that's the thing that makes it even stronger. I mean, he just has not missed with that slider tonight.
And the doubly impressive. Obviously, Hamilton just missed one too.
Off of Scheppers, and it goes into right field for a base hit for Martin. Now we'll see if Scheppers is okay. He's waving off the trainer and Ron Washington and Mike Maddox.
Got him
Going to look at Kuroda tonight. How impressive to the righties. Even though that's a high slider, it's got late movement. Good sinking fastballs down the way. Splitters. Another slider away. Wave and a miss. Kuroda, both sides of the plate. Excellent command.
This is almost, if you think about it, like getting hit by a pitch. And the longer the wait, the more it's going to hurt. So you almost want to just keep going. You know, get off the field. Let me try to get out of this inning and get some ice on it.
What was more of a, my school of thought on the fielding position, fielding your position as a pitcher as opposed to the Jim Cott style, Gonna fall off, make yourself skinny, try to get out of the way.
Right back to Sheppers, and that will do it here in the 8th. No runs to hit, no errors, and 1 man left. Will Kuroda come out and try to complete the shutout? Yankees lead 3-0. We head to the 9th.
Who inspired Curtis Granderson to wear his socks so high? Don't miss his emotional interview on the Verizon Fios game wrap-up tonight on the 10 o'clock news on My 9.
All right, so we go to the 9th inning. Kuroda pitching a 2-hit shutout. First hit he allowed was in the 7th. Then he allowed another one in the 8th that was quickly erased by David Murphy double play. It'll be Moreland, Kinsler, and Andrews. And there's a strike.
Another slider on the black, Tony.
Yeah, back door. Both sides of the plate, and that's one of the keys, I think, is being able to throw all your pitches to both sides of the plate. Not just your fastball in and out, but if you can control that slider in and out as well.
1-1. Still throwing hard, 94 miles an hour. He has 3 career complete games, all of them shutouts. Quick injury update. Second rehab appearance for the left-hander Pedro Feliciano, who in 2 years has never been in a Yankee game. 1 inning pitch, 1 strikeout. He faced 3 batters. What a boost he could be coming up in September as another left-hander out of the bullpen. The 2-1. Grounded to first. Teixeira.
This team really amazes me, Michael, and I don't know if it's because we've called a lot of games together lately or what, but it's been kind of a roller coaster. All of a sudden, the Yankees are on top of the world. They look like they can't be beat. Then they went through a little time. It's like everybody started, well, they can't win the way they're winning. They only hit home runs. The starting pitching's kind of, and now you're back. You're seeing a guy that is stepping up with CC out. Now he's your true number one, throwing a shutout against the Texas Rangers. And they've had some ups and downs, but they continue to win. They continue to have control of the American League East.
Swinging and a miss now, 0-2. Continuing to throw strikes. That's why in the 9th inning he has just 103 pitches. Just in case Soriano is up. Runner gets on, they will probably go to the bullpen. The 0-2. Rip foul.
That's a pitch that, if you're a pitcher, you're okay with that. I mean, that ball was running in on. The only way to hit it hard is to do what Kinsler did and pull it foul. It just tells you as a pitcher, it's exactly what I want to do. You see that ball keep going in. Either stay through it and jam yourself as a hitter, or you get around it and just hook it foul.
And the 0-2. Outside.
I think Edgar Martinez with the Mariners was one of the best I ever saw it, getting inside that pitch, kind of leading with the knob of the bat, and still getting his barrel to the bat. Remember that home run he hit off of Scott Kamenicki in Game 4 of the '95 playoffs.
Bringing up some bad memories there, Corey.
A very hard thing to do, especially with Kinsler right on the plate, standing all over the dish. And Kinsler's got a quick bat, but really hard to get inside that ball and keep it fair. See, even up in the box too, kind of mid-range in the box, and his bat is over the inside corner.
That's where most of the guys are standing. You see the adjustment he's made.
Deep drive, left field. Ichiro back, and on the track will make the play. And Kuroda 1 out away.
Right on cue, Kinsler almost does it, but the difference is that ball's down the middle. And Kinsler just misses it.
Just in enough on his barrel to keep it in the ballpark. And if you look back, Kinsler's just missed one and Josh Hamilton just missed one. And other than that, there's really been nothing on the barrel of the bat all night.
Here's Andrews. Still has a good live fastball, 1-0.
Looking at probably one of the best performances of Kuroda's career over here in the United States.
And that'll do it. A ground ball to Cano. He gets Andrews, and the Yankees win 3-0 in a complete game. 2-hit shutout for Hiroki Kuroda. A gem. The last complete game shutout that was not rained out early by a Yankee pitcher was CC Sabathia against the Rays. That was on July 10th of last year. David, you can't pitch much better than that.
No, you really can't. In a big spot against a great team. He was in complete control the entire night. His pitch count was under control, very efficient. Got a standing ovation when the no-hitter was broke up by this Yankee Stadium crowd.
And what makes this even more impressive, Paul, is that's a great hitting team.
Oh, again, you can't go over it enough. This is one of the powerhouses of all of baseball. And he absolutely shut them down. Good hitters, good players, better pitching.
We have a lot to do. We've got some awards to give up. We are going to wrap things up, and then, of course, we'll hand it off to Russ Salzberg. He'll have all the highlights right here at the stadium. 3-0 Yankees, all Kuroda. Outstanding.